and show you. Yeah, that's it, baby. Hey guys, my name is Wally Green from New York City. We have an amazing event at the Stan Mansion in Chicago. It is called The Power of We, run by my man, my boy, Mr. Lauren Harris. You guys better be there, because I will too, and I hope to see you guys soon. Peace!
The Power of We was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
Good morning to you. Hey. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and yes, I moved the mic because I want to make sure today you don't miss a word. And can I get an amen? Seriously, today is another illuminated conversation. Yes, it is. It's illuminated conversation time. At least, you guys know how to speak this morning. I can tell. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being here, where every day, Monday through Friday, we together come together and we fulfill that promise of where we two or more come together, seeking for the same things with the same heart set and mindset. We're going to find some wonderful magic in there, and today is no different. That's the bell of purpose. I ring it on purpose. It is a reminder. It's an opportunity to remember that there is a thing called truth that has a ring to it. And when you hear the ring of the bell, there's because I believe personally, there's some truth out there and you don't want to miss it. Trust me. Okay. Again, another amen. All right then. Listen, today's topic right now, this is get ready. This is going to be, this is an anointed conversation today. I'm just going to say that. See, there I am with the mic thing. Does it sound different? Can you guys tell that I moved it? I just want to know because I never think about those things and I need to do better. Which leads me to our topic for today is how to know when we've done our best. How do we know when we've done our best? I'm going to tell you why we're talking about this today. And I want you to do me a solid right now, because I know I say it all the time, but I mean it all the time. Because every time we open up our mouths with our stories and we share with each other, someone is getting something they've been seeking sometimes all their life for. That's just the way it is. We can never underestimate our power to change, to empower, and to heal people just through who we are. Okay. And I'm going to prove that to you this morning. So first, let me just say good morning, beautiful people. And I want you to share right now with one other person, because I'm getting ready to show you guys something. We're about to talk about something that happened that it's going to touch you. And someone out there is going to feel something mighty powerful today. I'm telling you what I know. So, how to know when we've done our best. Here's what happened. And I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff. Full circle moments. Are you familiar with those? When it comes all the way around the hula hoop. Okay. And it starts to make sense, and you see something that you didn't see just a moment ago. You feel something and you know something that you didn't feel or know just a moment ago. And that happened to me last night. My husband, Brian, he's a therapist, and he had a friend who asked him because they know a young man who just got out of prison and he was having a hard time finding work. And so Brian said, hey, you have that friend, Glenn, whose wife is in the prison system. She's like some kind of a warden or something like that. And they do a lot of work with people with those situations all over the country, this family. And so back in 2016, my very first real speaking engagement, so you guys have heard that, was for 250 professional speakers, right? I was freaked out. I was like, oh my goodness. So anyway, Glenn Smith is one of the people who was in that original audience. And not long after that, he reached out to me because I was transparent about my experiences of having been incarcerated and having had a 14-year drug addiction. It's not just about those 22 homes. It's about the whole story. Kind of get a name. It's about the whole story, including today, right? So he reaches out to me because his young son, had been dealing with an addiction since he was 16 years old. Lives out here in the suburbs of Chicago, comes from a great family, Caucasian. Not that matters, but it bodes speaking to. And I'm tying this all in with the Power We Symposium, where primarily my audience is kids of color, brown and black kids. But all along, I've been doing stuff also with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Right. Doesn't matter what color. And so Brandon, their son, was in the county jail. And they asked me, actually, I think they asked me if I would mentor him. And I said, okay. And remember, I'm like 3 months into this career. I've been an event planner those times when I wasn't in the drug world. Okay. I was an event planner. And so I didn't know what to do. And so I said, well, he's in the county jail. They sent me his address. And you know how you say you'll write, sit down and write letters and put a stamp on it and mail it. That's what you have to do with people in the county jail. And so I did. And he and I wrote back and forth. But the first letter, I'm going to share the screen. I took screenshots, you guys, because I want you to, it's the experience. So I reached in last night and asked Glenn before I went to bed. I went to bed at 9:30, and he responded at 10:35. I was already asleep, but he reached back in. But I'm going to take it in order. I'm going to show you. Here's the very first thing in 2016 when we were texting. Okay, and I know it's small, but I know what it says. So I say at the top, look at that, October 23rd of 2016. I started this career in August of 2016. So you see, that was August is when I put my first bid out, and I got hired, and Glenn was in that audience. And so I went and I did it. I think it was September, first week of September when I presented. So this is the very next month. And he says, Glenn said, received my first response from Brandon. Give me a brief call when you can, please. Oh no, that was me. I told Glenn that because I wrote Brandon and he wrote me back. He says, I'll give you a call in a little while. And then he tells me on the 28th, Brandon got your letter. He said you confronted him on using words that deceive. That was back at the beginning. You guys know I talk about that all the time. He also told us about Google, Mike, driving down there, which was the inner city of Chicago from the suburbs. This is a 16-year-old white kid, and giving his arm to Mike. He was very open and took responsibility for each one of the items I mentioned. He said he never thought about it that way, the way you described it. Good job. Talk to you later. And then this is the second part of it where I said good night. He said good night. Oh, yeah. You can see there I said, thanks, Glenn. Going to bring your son home once and for all, I promise. Now, this is the part where when you go back and you see these things and you say, did I miss something? Did I do my best? He said, good night. And that was the night I got engaged to be married. I said, I got engaged tonight. Good night. And he said, congrats. And so Brian asked me to reach into Glenn last night. Glenn was on the show about a year ago. And so I reached in, I asked the question, and then this morning I woke up to this. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for asking. I have some incredibly sad news to share with you. We expect either tomorrow or Wednesday to be saying goodbye to our Brandon. He has been on life support since last Friday after cardiac arrest, most likely triggered by an overdose. We were told today that doctors believe he is brain dead. We just got home from the hospital and are emotionally and physically drained. My heart is broken. Glenn. And, you know, I'm sorry. I thought I got all this out. I'm going to just tell you guys. See, everybody always sees this stuff. They see the stuff back there and they think that's why you do it. And when people cross your paths, when people cross our paths, and we say we're going to do something, make sure you do it. Make sure you do your best and trust in what is greater than you to take care of the rest. And you have to expect those times to come in your journey where you will be forced to ask yourself, did I do my best? Did I miss something? And then after I started looking, I went looking for our letters, which I keep, Brandon and I, all those kind of letters, anyone. And I remember in many of our calls together when he got out of jail, because I was more afraid for him when he got out of the county jail than any time at all, because, you know, kids, they get out of jail, heroin addicts, and it's just addicts. And if you're in there 6 or 7 months, the mindset is that you think you can handle the amount of drugs you were doing when you went in. And a lot of them are found in bathrooms at gas stations and convenience stores, park benches and alleyways, because they ran right to it and picked up where they left off, and it was too much. Excuse me. And so I was struggling. I was frantic. I mean, I was going through the letters line by line because you feel an automatic responsibility somehow. Could I have done more? I should have done more. And then, you know, I always say that's a litmus test for purpose. that you can always tell you're moving within purpose because it leaves you wanting and everyone around you wanting more. But this morning, more within purpose had a different definition for me. I was like, could I have done more? Should I have done more? All these things. And then God showed me what is greater than started whispering to me about how I used that experience with Brandon when I took on my first coaching client who was a recovering addict, and that was Misty Lane. And you guys know Misty Lane. And you know how Misty Lane was just, she was just awarded Motivator of the Year, something like that, globally. And I would have never had the courage to go down that road for my own triggers, working with someone. I was afraid of that at the time. And I remember when I used to have conversations with this young man, he would say, when he got out, he was working, I think it was at 7-Eleven, he was working, and he would talk about, he was taking all these shifts and working overnight. And I asked, are you ever scared? Like working nights? And he goes, no. He goes, nobody walking in here could scare me. I wasn't scared when I was out there walking down alleys and shooting up wherever. He goes, why should I be scared here? A lot of lights inside 7-Eleven. And we would laugh. And he would always say, I was like, he'd give me nougats. And I'd say, like the thing about Google. The thing about Google was he told me when he was 16, I said, how did you find heroin at 16 living in the suburbs? And he goes, oh, I just Googled how to cop heroin in Chicago. That's what he did. And he goes, and I went on there. When I Googled it, it led me to a Facebook link, a group called How to Score Heroin in Chicago. I was like, this boy, no, he lying, right? So I went right on and Googled it. It was there. And I went in, and I'm not kidding you, within 10 minutes, somebody came on there and said, hi, my name is Mike. What you looking for? And I went scrolling through the group thread for like a couple hours. And I noticed that the phone number Mike gave was always different. And I said, I just knew it. God told me this isn't one person. This is an organization. And Brandon went on to tell me how Mike at first would make him drive all the way into those scary streets of South Chicago or West Chicago. I don't remember which side it was, but neither one of them are safe. And he told me how then the more he got hooked, Mike would meet him like at the halfway point. And Mike knew how long to hold out and make him wait so that he would be even more desperate when Mike arrived. He told me how Mike, before long, was meeting him right down the corner from his parents' home. He then told me how Mike said, well, you're getting kind of out there. You're owing me. So why don't you work that off before it gets dangerous? I know you live right down in that yellow house or whatever it was. Wouldn't want to see anything happen to your parents, would you? And forced him, I think that's how the story went, or encouraged him to sell it. And he told me he knew people who were doing that. And some of these kids couldn't even drive yet. And I was like, well, how do they get it? Because Mike brings it to you. And you pay it off by selling it to middle schoolers and stuff like that right here, right in the suburbs. And here we are today, 5 years later. And I just got off the phone with Glenn and his wife. And I had to tell them, before they take Brandon off of life support today, to bend down and whisper in his ear that his struggle was not in vain. I have used Brandon's story 100 times if I've used it once. It has helped me navigate waters that I thought I would never dip my pinky toe in, let alone dive in with my spirit first ever again. And I am so grateful today to be able to give that comfort to the Glenn family, the Glenn Smith family, and let them know that their son helped shape the message I give the world today. When I started working with Brandon, there was no Goldcast video. And I was so grateful to have somebody, even if they were in jail, that was so hungry to hear even one syllable of hope, that it made me believe I could do everything I'm doing today and more. And I know that sometimes, many of us, we question our ability to have impact. We may not be going viral. We may not have 100,000 followers or likes or any of those things that so many attribute their success or impact to. But just like in my P3 series, purpose, passion, and the most important piece of all, that third one, patience. Because today, I am filled with gratitude for so many things. And I thought it would be great for us to talk about. So that's the story that brought us here. And now we're here for yet another illuminated conversation. And I really today want you to share this out. We can't let this kid have died in vain. We can't let him have died for nothing. Share this out. So the fourth agreement ties into how to know when we've done our best. But first, I want to take a look at something I found. I asked what is greater than, I asked them all today. Show me what we need. Show me what we need today. And I was led to this little piece I want to start with, which speaks to why our paths cross certain people. Okay? When we're looking for understanding, when we're looking for meaning within things that just don't make sense, look to the people around you. In the Bible, it says, goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. And I believe that the goodness and mercy comes from those places we thought no one saw us in. It comes from those places we thought no one heard us in. And it comes from those places that we somehow forgot or dismissed that they even mattered. So let's take a look at what they say about that, shall we? Here we go. Never underestimate the reason God has your path. Sometimes it's for you, sometimes it's for them, but he always has his reasons. Some who cross our paths will make an impression that lasts a lifetime. Make sure you tell them. Don't wait. You never know when it will be too late. In your encounter, may they find grace, mercy, peace, and his love. Sometimes God puts you in a position to spread hope despite negative circumstances, because in him, hope prevails. Release those you encounter back to him. Pray that in the difficult days ahead, God will continue to be their source of hope, and that you'll be a conduit of his hope that prevails. We cannot afford to underestimate the reason God puts us in another's path. So let us be faithful to the call. We may be an instrument God uses to lead those we encounter back to their only true source of hope. Because of him, hope prevails. Thank you, Dr. Michelle. That was beautiful. Thank you.
It's Russ Rufino.
Okay, Russ,
I saw that you signed
not
up
you.
my-
Yes, I did sign up, but I'm not buying. Now, you guys, I thought that was sweet. I thought that was great. Tell me how you feel. Did that resonate in any way with you? We're going to come to questions and comments here in a bit. But first, one more thing, two more things. Let's look at what I found about another little piece of the puzzle, which is entitled 10 Signs That You're Doing Better Than You Think. Because, you guys, oftentimes we give up because we don't think we're doing enough. We don't think what we're saying is making a difference. But you have to be patient. Now, we're going to not watch this whole thing because it's almost 9 minutes, but we're going to watch a little bit. So here's 10 signs in case you're reaching for answers and you want some validation, some proof, if you will, that you're doing okay, that you're doing enough, that you're doing your best.
10 signs you are doing better than you think. It's common to wonder if you're doing enough in life. And during these times of struggle, it can be difficult to see all the things you're already doing right. When we feel immense stress and worry constantly, it's easy to ignore our accomplishments. Plus, social pressure often makes us feel like we have to always be working harder or doing more. If you ever doubt yourself, here are 10 signs that you're actually doing a lot better than you think. Number 1, you're figuring out what you don't want. Sometimes it seems like you need to know exactly what you want to live life the right way. You see other people seeking out a perfect relationship or a meaningful career, while you aren't quite sure what you want. But that's okay. When you live life according to your terms, your goals will be different than that of other people, and you'll realize them at your own pace. Figuring out what you don't want in life is just as important as knowing what you do want. The process of elimination is a natural part of self-discovery. And if you can name a few things you aren't interested in pursuing, that shows you're on a journey to fulfillment. When you realize the power you have in determining who you are, you'll see how much better you're doing than you think. Number 2, you're skeptical and you question things. Although you may associate doubt with negativity, misery, or annoyance, a healthy dose of skepticism can go a long way. When you question yourself, such as your motives, ideas, and values, you practice a type of self-awareness that serves as a catalyst to growth. Your doubt can help you find better ways of doing or thinking about things. It can also reveal your objective reasoning skills and instinctual self-reflection, 2 important traits that enable you to problem solve and move forward through life. These awesome qualities are due to your skepticism, and they tell you not to blindly follow the masses or accept normality for the sake of familiarity. You can and will be your own person. Number 3, trends.
So I wanted to just give you a little taste of that, and because I've watched the entire piece and it's got some great nuggets in there, so I've taken the liberty of dropping the link to that entire video, and I encourage you to not only follow the link but bookmark it. It's as smart as the person who, when they're feeling their best or when they're in a space that is they know is pouring into them, find something within that space that you can take and put in your canister on your counter in the kitchen of your heart, of your mind. I did that backwards. Of your heart, of your mind. They're connected that much. See that? You want to put these things there so that when we wake up on days that we don't feel like we're our best, we can go to that place where the best version of ourselves has left something for us to remember us by. Think about that one for just a moment. Okay? Now, we all know that one of my favorite books is The 4 Agreements. I live by these principles, and I do my best to encourage others to live by these principles. The 4th agreement, who knows what the 4 agreements are? If you're familiar with the 4 agreements, put love the 4 agreements in here, because if you are familiar with them, there's no way you could not love them. They are, and I quote, be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. And always, always do your best, which is what we're here talking about today. How to know when we've done our best. I've been telling you the story of the young man, Brandon, who started dealing. He lives out here in the suburbs. Today, his family will be making that tough decision and removing him from life support. And back 5 years ago, he started this drug journey at 16. And again, we just do not want any of our kids to leave this world without knowing that they've made a difference, or leave this world before they have the chance to make a difference, to be a difference. And so many of us, when we look into the mirror of our past, most of us can't even accept how close we came many times to not being in this world because of our decisions when we didn't know better. But thank God, thank what we believe to be greater than us, that someone or something reached out right when we needed it most. And we chose it. We chose life. We chose healing. We chose service. We chose all those things that will enable us one day to hear the words, well done, well done. And so I want to take a brief break just for a moment. And when we return, we're going to take a little listening to that fourth agreement as we continue this illuminated conversation on just what does it mean doing your best and how to know when we're doing our best. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah, that was me sitting on the screen. Before we get into the fourth agreement, I'm going to play a little bit of it through Audible here. Because I was telling you earlier, if you came in after the start of the show, I'll catch you up here real quick. A little Reader's Digest recap, if we will. I started off by telling you all how full circle moment for me with a young man, Brandon, who was in the county jail, a young kid. His parents reached out to me, who were in my very first speaking engagement audience, where I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything right. But the relationship with this young man started there when they reached out to me and they asked me if I would, mentor him. And we became pen pals, Brandon. And this is back, as you can see, in 2016. And they said, Brandon got your letter. He said you confronted him on using words that deceive. And he also told us about the Google thing I explained about Mike and driving down there, which was inner city Chicago, and this kid offering his arm to Mike. And that was the beginning of where we are today, where we got this message that Brandon suffered cardiac arrest Friday, and they will be taking him off of life support probably today. As the doctors say, Brandon is now brain dead. So I was struggling, as you can well imagine, with that mindset about, oh my goodness, you directly sent me in there with this kid. What did I miss? I'm so sorry. What did I do wrong? And instantly, the comfort of having done your best came and just put its arms completely around me. And I mean that. And so that's why today I wanted to have this conversation, this illuminated conversation with you all about this fourth agreement. And so if you don't mind, if you'll indulge me just for a little bit longer today, I'd like for us to take a listen to just what that means, so that we don't cheat ourselves out of understanding that we don't always know when we've done our best. You just do it. Here we go.
The fourth agreement. Always do your best. There is just one more agreement, but it's the one that allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. The fourth agreement is about the action of the first three. Always do your best.
Feel free to comment.
Under any circumstance, always do your best. No more and no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time, so your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you're tired at night. Your best will be different when you're healthy as opposed to sick, or sober as opposed to drunk. Your best will depend on whether you're feeling wonderful and happy or angry and upset. In your everyday moods, your best can change from one moment to another, from 1 hour to the next, from one day to another. Your best will also change over time. As you build the habit of the 4 new agreements, your best will become better than it used to be. Regardless of the quality, keep doing your best. No more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed, and in the end, your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself. Then it takes you longer to accomplish your goal. But if you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustrations, self-judgment, guilt, and regrets. Just do your best. In any circumstance in your life, it doesn't matter if you're sick or tired. If you always do your best, there is no way you can judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, there is no way you're going to suffer from guilt, blame, and self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. Doing your best, you're going to live your life intensely. You're going to be productive. You're going to be good to yourself, because you will be giving yourself to your family, to your community, to everything. When you always do your best, you take action, and it is the action that is going to make you feel intensely happy. Doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. Most people do exactly the opposite. They only take action when they expect a reward, and they don't enjoy the action. And that's the reason why they don't do their best. For example, most people go to work every day just thinking of payday, and the money they will get from the work they're doing. They can hardly wait for Friday or Saturday, whatever day they receive their money, and can take time off. They're working for the reward, and as a result, they resist work. They try to avoid the action, and it becomes more difficult, and they don't do their best. They work so hard all week long, suffering the work, suffering the action, not because they like to, but because they feel they have to. They have to work because they have to pay the rent, because they have to support their family. They have all that frustration, and when they do receive their money, they are unhappy. They have 2 days to rest, to do what they want to do, and what do? They try to escape. They get drunk because they don't like themselves. They don't like their life. There are many ways that we hurt ourselves when we don't like who we are. On the other hand, if you take action just for the sake of doing it, without expecting a reward, you'll find that you enjoy every action you do. Rewards will come, but you're not attached to the reward. You can even get more than you would have imagined for yourself without expecting a reward. When you do your best, you don't give the judge the opportunity to find you guilty or to blame you. If you've done your best and the judge tries to judge you according to your book of laws, you've got the answer. I did my best. There are no regrets. That is why we always do our best. It is not an easy agreement to keep.
Nope.
But this agreement is really going to set you free. When you do your best, you learn to accept yourself. But you have to be aware and learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means you practice. Look honestly at the results and keep practicing. This increases your awareness. Do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. If you take action because you have to, then there's no way you're going to do your best. Then it's better not to do it. Action is about living fully. Inaction is the way that we deny life. Inaction is sitting in front of the television every day for years because you're afraid to be alive and take the risk of expressing what you are. Expressing what you are is taking action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but what makes the difference is the action. Without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, and no reward.
Zero.
A good example of this comes from the story about Forrest Gump. He didn't have great ideas, but he took action. He was happy because he always did his best at whatever he did. He was richly rewarded without expecting any reward at all. Taking action is being truly alive. It's taking the risk to go out and express your dream. This is different than imposing your dream on someone else, because everyone has the right to express his or her dream. God is life in action. The best way to say, I love you, God,
Hold on. I want to stop it.
Is to live your life doing your best.
I want to stop for a second. Wait a minute. Let me come. Well, you can see me. Did you hear what he just said? I got to take it back just a little bit. That's huge. Listen.
He was happy because he always did his best at whatever he did. He was richly rewarded without expecting any reward at all. Taking action is being truly alive. It's taking the risk to go out and express your dream. This is different than imposing your dream on someone else.
Expressing your dream. And it said going out and expressing your dream, meaning take it out of the living room. Take it out of your mind. Speak it to someone else. We all have gifts, answers, healing for others. But if we do not speak our stories, the top to that medicine is never removed. And if the top is never removed, how do you expect the sick to get the medicine that is inside? I'm just going to let that sit out there for a second as we go back to the fourth agreement. Always do your best.
Because everyone has the right to express his or her dream. God is life in action. The best way to say, I love you, God, is to live your life doing your best. The best way to say, thank you, God, is by letting go of the past and living in the present moment, right here and now.
Right now.
Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. If you live in a past dream, you don't enjoy what is happening right now because you always wish it to be different than it is.
Yes.
There is no time to miss anyone or anything because you are alive. Not enjoying what is happening right now is living in the past and being only half alive. This leads to self-pity, suffering, and tears. You were born with the right to be happy. You were born with the right to love, to enjoy, and to share your love.
Amen.
You are alive, so take your life and enjoy it.
All of it.
Don't resist life passing through you.
Nope.
Because that is God passing through you. Just to be, to take a risk and enjoy your life is
through
all
me,
that matters.
Not from me.
Say no when you want to say no. And yes when you want to say yes. You have the right to be you. But you can only be you when you do your best. When you don't do your best, you're denying yourself the right to be you.
It's not Completely.
That's a seed that you should really nurture in your mind. You don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You don't need the acceptance of others.
12th grade.
You need to express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. The first 3 agreements will only work if you do your best. Don't expect that you will always be able to be impeccable with your word.
No.
Your routine habits are too strong and firmly rooted in your mind, but you can do your best.
See?
Don't expect that you will never take anything personally. Just do your best. Don't expect that you will never make another assumption, but you can certainly do your best. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time.
True.
You don't need to judge yourself, feel guilty, or punish yourself if you cannot keep these agreements. If you do your best, always, over and over again, you will become a master of transformation. You are a master of speaking your language because you practiced. Everything you have ever learned, you learned through repetition. You learned to write, to drive, and even to walk by repetition. Practice makes the master. By doing your best, you become a master. Action is what makes the difference. If you do your best in the search for personal freedom, in the search for self-love, you will discover that it's just a matter of time before you find what you're looking for. It's not about daydreaming or sitting for hours dreaming in meditation. You have to stand up and be a human.
Yes.
You have to honor the man or woman that you are. Respect your body, enjoy your body, love your body, feed, clean, and heal your body.
Heal.
Exercise and do what makes your body feel good. Your own body is a manifestation of God, and if you honor your body, everything will change for you.
Yes, Lord.
When you practice giving love to every part of your body, you plant seeds of love in your mind, and when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. Every action then becomes a ritual in which you are honoring God. After that, the next step is honoring God with every thought, every emotion, every belief. Every thought becomes a communion with God, and you will live a dream without judgments, victimization, and free of the need to gossip and abuse yourself.
Yes.
The 4 agreements are a summary of the mastery of transformation, one of the masteries of the Toltec.
Yes.
When you honor these 4 agreements together, there is no way that you will live in hell. If you are impeccable with your word, if you don't take anything personally, if you don't make assumptions, if you always do your best, then you are going to have a beautiful life. The dream of the planet will be transformed into your personal dream of heaven. The knowledge is there. It's just waiting for you to use it.
That's all.
The 4 agreements are there. You just need to adopt these agreements and respect their meaning and power. Just do your best to honor these agreements. They are so simple and logical that even a child can understand them.
Yes.
But you must have a very strong will, a very strong will.
Say
to
it
keep these
again.
agreements. Why? Because wherever we go, we find that our path is full of obstacles. Everyone tries to sabotage our commitment to these new agreements, and everything around us is a setup for us to break them. The problem is all the other agreements that are a part of the dream of the planet. They are alive, and they are very strong. That's why you need to be a great hunter, a great warrior who can defend these 4 agreements with your life.
Yes.
Your happiness, your freedom, your entire way of living depends on it. The warrior's goal is to transcend this world, to escape from this hell and never come back. As the Toltecs teach us, the reward is to transcend the human experience of suffering, to become the embodiment of God. That is the reward. We really need to use every bit of power we have to succeed in keeping these agreements. So if you fall, do not judge. Do not give your judge the satisfaction of turning you into a victim. No, be tough with yourself. Stand up and make the agreement again. Okay, I broke my agreement to be impeccable with my word. I will start all over again, and just for today I will be impeccable with my word. Do not be concerned about the future. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. You can do it if you live just one day at a time.
Yes.
If you break an agreement, begin again tomorrow and again the next day. It will be difficult at first, but each day will become easier and easier until one day you will discover that you are ruling your life with these 4 agreements, and you will be surprised at the way your life has been transformed. Always do your best to keep these agreements, and soon it will be easy for you. Today is the beginning of a new dream.
Wow.
The Toltec Path to Freedom.
Hold on.
Breaking old agreements.
Oh, Lord. How do I get rid of it now?
Everyone talks about freedom. All around the world, different people, different races, different countries are fighting for freedom.
Hold on.
But what is freedom?
Okay.
In America, we speak of living in a free country.
Wait a minute.
But are we really free?
I'm trying to get rid of this.
Are we free to be who we really are?
Hold on, you guys.
The answer is no.
Can you guys still hear it?
We're
I
not
can.
free.
Hold on.
True freedom has to do with the human spirit. It is the freedom to be
all the way
who
back
we really
in.
are.
Bear with me.
Who stops us from being free?
Okay.
We blame the government. We blame the weather. We blame our parents, our religion, or God. Who really stops us from being free? We stop ourselves.
I'm still listening. Are you? Hold on.
What does it really mean to be free? Sometimes we get married and we say that we lose our freedom. And we get divorced and we're still not free. What stops us?
Okay, hold on.
Why can't we be ourselves? Why can't we have memories of long ago when we used to be free? We have memories of long ago when we used to, but we've forgotten what freedom really means.
I don't know how to get rid of it.
If we see a child who is 2 or 3, perhaps 4 years old, we find a free
Hold on,
human.
you guys.
Why is this human free?
This is, maybe it's not
because
supposed
this
to
human
stop.
does whatever he or she wants to do. The human is completely wild.
I don't know where it
just
is.
like a flower.
It's just
a tree,
playing.
Or an animal that has not been domesticated.
Oh
wild.
my goodness. Wait a minute.
And if we observe humans who are 2 years old, we find that most of the time,
amazingly
these humans
interesting.
have a big smile on their faces and they're having fun. They're exploring the world.
Wait.
They're not afraid to play. They're afraid when they're hurt,
I think I found
when
it.
they're hungry, when some of their needs are not met. They don't.
I found it. Wow. I kind of am techie. Listen, well, there must have been something in that part that kept going, meant for someone that was still here or is on their way here. So no mistakes. Nothing is ever about just one thing. And that's why when things like what just happened, I accept it, I bless it, and I send it into wherever it is it needs to go. I wanted to wrap up today. We have a few minutes left, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I sure am. Because, you know, before I started doing this and we started meeting here 6 years ago, moments like I'm having today, the voices of question would have haunted me for hours, perhaps days, making me, forcing me, tempting me to question myself, my journey, my contribution, my expectations. And eventually, they would have me questioning my everything. If that sounds familiar to you, listen, people. I don't profess to have all the answers. Of course not. I'm seeking daily, momentarily seeking from moment to moment to moment, just like you. And I just want you to know that these are times that they will speak about for the ages. But then weren't they all? That's why we have a Bible. That's why we have Mozart. That's why we have the story of Martin Luther King and Mother Teresa. That's why we have the stories of people like Brandon Smith. Brandon, most likely, since they say he's been brain dead since Friday. But one thing is, he will never be spirit dead. ever. And neither one of us will be either. None of us. So feed your spirit and feed from your spirit. Allow your spirit to be fed. I want to share one thing. We have 4 minutes left, and I'm going to close with this today. I remember way back at the beginning of my journey, and that time when I actually started listening, but I didn't know what I was listening for or whom I was listening to, really. But something inside that anointed space, it landed, it resonated. And I'll never forget, I'm going to leave you with what I call, well, it's entitled Life's Page. Some of you may have heard it before. And I actually wrote it one night while I was incarcerated and I was going to take my life. I had traded for pills and stuff and waited for the guards to make that last round. That would give me like 3 hours, and I knew they wouldn't find me. And I picked up the felt tip pen, because they didn't give you real pens and stuff, to write my note. And instead, these words that I'm about to share with you came out, and God told me, what is greater than? They all told me, don't quit. Not yet. Take these instructions, live by them, and share them with others. So, as we leave today, how to know when you've done your best. Here's what they told me back at the very beginning. And I'm so glad today. Thank you, Brendan Smith, for all you poured into me and all you gave me to pour into others. There will be an award this year for the first time, and Brendan's parents, I'm hoping, will be there. When I present to someone in the audience, I've already chosen what will forever be known as the Brandon Smith Award of Valor. Because Brandon was courageous enough to tell me about that Googling and how Mike would come, and it really happened. I did it at a Rotary meeting, and Mike came right in on the screen, right in front of everybody. Never give up on your purpose, and your purpose will never give up on you. So here we go. Life's Page. This is what I was given as my template, and I share it, and I freely give it to you. If you would like a copy, let me know later, and I'll make sure I get it to you. So what happens to those who give, and still they give some more? Will they yet in time cross that finish line? Is there a victory? Is there a score? They've always said that good guys finish last, and so many believe this is true. But I refuse to believe in those words that deceive, because I refuse to give up. How about you? To turn the other cheek, well, it isn't easy sometimes, because our pride, well, it'll get in the way. But if you give in to hate, well, that's a predictable fate, for that's an employer who surely won't pay. So what's to become of those who believe that to be kind is in essence to be weak? They feel as a sponge to soak up all the kindness around. It's just a hunger to devour the meek. Well, for a while, they'll appear to be living on top, where all that they touch turns to gold. They're the ones who praise you out loud. They'll flash a smile to the crowd, when all along it's our trust that they've stole. So the next time you feel the need to betray, you know that need to have the last word. Step back and remember. Oh, you remember that day when you listened and heard. Someone else having fun, spewing venom and filth. They're drawing a crowd at someone else's expense. Well, step back, think twice. Don't go there again. Think twice before you cross that fence. Because it's easy to say, oh yeah, tell me more, if you're encouraging the blind not to see. But it's harder stepping back, looking closer than before when pointing fingers. Well, there's 3 that point at me. So remember, each day we must remind ourselves that in order to be better than the rest, it's simple. Just remember that today's just a drill and each person's another test. But it's a test to be passed. There's always a lesson to be learned. And still, our battles will rage. But it's our life that will never be the same, my friend, until our life has written its page. Get out there, share your stories, share into each other, make a difference, because you are a difference. I'll see you, God willing, tomorrow morning back here. Our experts are back for another day of Ask the Experts. So God bless you all. Thank you so much. And get out there and give the people you love their flowers while they can still appreciate them. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm Laura Michaels Harris, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments. Bye-bye.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.